Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. A nice rainy day here at the Russian Grand Prix. The Sochi Autodrome is what they call it in Formula One. My name is Jonathan Webster. I'm here with Owen tonight as Danny is, I think he's told me he was on a date with a girl, which is quite surprising due to the recent comments he's made. But yes, he is out tonight, so we do have Owen with us tonight, coming off a week where Breakout in Singapore won the race surprisingly. Very good win for him. New Zealand Ryan, your points leader, came home in second, and DRC Jared ended up finishing in third. Owen, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing a lot better now that I'm seeing a wet track, because this place is the definition of an ice rink in the rain. Oh my goodness, we are in for something special here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Russia is always a great circuit to watch, full of fun, exciting racing. But especially in the rain, it is a ice rink. So, how do you think these drivers will feel? How do you think these drivers will do out here today, Owen, in this qualifying session?
I think we're going to see a few big-time invalidations from people on good laps just because they misjudge a corner a little bit. Maybe even see some high-profile accidents, because I'm looking up and down the order right now, and I'm seeing. So I think it's kind of, as I see Taylor Clan, who's the first car out, getting very sideways to the end of the turn flat. I think it's kind of a mixed bag of conditions right now. It's not really one or the other.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really different out here, because right now there are some drivers out in the inners, there are some drivers out in the wets. As we ride on board with Boss Cookie, he's usually one of the first people to get out every week, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting qualifying session. These drivers probably hope that this rain goes away here at the end of the session so they can really get some true hot laps in. But I mean, as we saw it in last week's race at Singapore, the qualifying session was in the rain, and some drivers who usually are in the midfield love the rain, and they came to the front. An example of that would have been Max Stalo. He had a phenomenal qualifying session. It doesn't look like he is here, along with a driver last week who made his debut. Timo Marduk, sadly, is not here tonight. But yeah, we're looking forward to some good racing tonight. And Owen, do you have anything to add there?
I just wanted my cheese!
Okay,
well,
then.
We're sorry about that. Well,
yeah.
That was...
Let's put this on invite only.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We have just been equivalent to a Zoom bomb here in the BRL Breakout Racing League Twitch tonight. That is a shame. I have no clue who that was.
Nope.
But as we ride on with some of these drivers starting their hot laps here, I think Ginger Horizon is one of the first people to get out. He is on the intermediates. He's looking quite squabbly.
I'm seeing something very,
very
very strange right here. I'm seeing two New Zealand Ryans.
I am as well. There are two New Zealand Ryans tonight. That's very interesting.
What has happened here?
I'm not sure, but we're just gonna go with it, mate. Double points for that guy. I mean, he doesn't need them, you know. He doesn't need them, but it might help him. So as we ride on board with Deer Hunter here, going through the second sector in his Red Bull. He had a great race last week until he ended up getting in a little bit of an accident with Timo Marduk in the middle of the race. But as we ride on board of his Red Bull, nice and smooth down that straightaway. It does look slick out there, Owen.
Definitely looking very slick. It'd be interesting to see what kind of lap times people will put in here, because we don't see a whole lot of wet running around this track usually.
Yeah, definitely. Deer Hunter had a slap of understeer there coming out of one of the corners, but as he goes through this third sector, nice and tidy through there. He's got a Ferrari all over his butt, and Taylor Clan goes quickest,
but not for long.
Yeah, B-Dunk just smashed that by 3 seconds. A 1:48.3 is the best time so far. And Ginger Horizon in the Ferrari goes a 1:47.6. So I have never seen Ginger Horizon in here, and I think he is on his debut, so that is a fantastic time. And even to beat Chandler Seda and Nat Williams, one of our best drivers here at BRL, that is one heck of a lap out of him.
Indeed. So it looks like the intermediate is probably the better tire to be on at this stage, despite the fact it looks like it's still very wet out there. I think some of these
very
guys,
wet out here.
Some of these guys may have just gone for that wet tire just for security purposes, just because it looks fairly wet, but it's maybe not quite as wet as it looks on camera. Because this place is...
I'm not sure.
This place is very flat and the water doesn't accumulate, and it's a very smooth surface, so even a little bit of rain can be a bit of a problem around here because it doesn't drain overly well as now.
New Zealand Ryan goes quickest with a 147.5. We just ran on board with him through that final sector. He is on the intermediate tires, so he takes his Renault to the top spot, and then ERS Ham Newton goes fourth, and his Williams and Drolix actually takes that right away from him real quick. So Drolix slides his Mercedes up into fourth. He had a great recovery race last weekend at Singapore, and Boss Cookie does not look to be on a lap. But Alan Hugo is in his Mercedes. As he comes around through the second sector, nice and tidy. Oh, and he gets, oh, wow. He almost loses a back end there. Wow, that was very, very close incident for him there. He could have been out of this qualifying session quite easily, but New Zealand Ryan is showing 2 times Ferrari, so good for him.
Indeed, he is. I'm still not sure what is going on there. Why we have two of the same driver out here. There are 2 Renault drivers. I can't remember who the other one's supposed to be at this stage, but
it's Jared.
Right. So did one of them change?
So maybe DRC Jared somehow in this game right now his name has been glitched to his Renault teammate New Zealand Ryan, because he was here for this race.
Yeah, I saw him in the lobby, so maybe we're just seeing a visual glitch of some kind, but it's just very odd to see the helmet's the same, the number's the same, everything is the same.
I know.
So
well, we apologize to the viewers for that, but New Zealand Ryan does go quickest, though. Extends that gap that he had originally. He ran a 147.2, and ERS Ham Newton comes across the line as we rode through Sector 2 with him. Puts in a 147.1, so that is the new quickest time, him and his Williams. Very good driver. Very good lap out of him as we ride on board Alan Hugo. Hasn't had the season he's wanted to, but has put in a couple good finishes so far.
And one of the Renaults has spun down at turn 5 as the 6th place version of New Zealand Ryan. Didn't make any contact with anything.
I think it's Jared. I think it's DRC Jared who is in that car.
I think it is too. I think that's Jared in 6th place, actually, not New Zealand Ryan.
Ginger Horizon on his debut goes quickest here in short qualifying in his Ferrari. Very good time out of him, a 147.1. So he and ERS Ham Newton are barely separated in their times. But let's go back over to Alan Hugo as he comes through this 3rd sector. We have about 9 minutes left to go in this qualifying session, so maybe these drivers can get 2 more runs in. And Alan goes a little bit wide. Will that invalidate his lap? It doesn't look like it. Comes across the line now, and yeah, I guess it did. So I think he's backed out of his lap, so that's a shame for him. He's going to have to go again. Who else is on a lap? VSR Dralix is now on a hot lap, the other Mercedes driver. There's not much going on in this qualifying session. Usually it's a lot more exciting than this. The rain has really put a damper on things, but Dralix coming around the final corner right about now, coming up to the line. See what he can do. Goes 4th. He beats Chandler out for 4th, so good time out of him. He'll have to do another run if he wants that pole position, though.
Indeed. Definitely seeing some of these guys' drifting skills be put on display right here because they are just walking the back ends of these cars out at every corner. Just trying to get the traction down in these 1,000+ horsepower cars.
Oh, and Boskuk has just cut that corner completely. So I think that is an invalidation.
I think he was headed to the pits anyway.
Yes, he is. He is headed to the pits. Oh, and do you think this race is going to be affected by the grid that we see in qualifying? Do you think the rain will be in the race? Do you think it will hold off? What do you think?
I have no idea, but if we end up with a wet qualifying and a dry race, we're definitely going to see a good bit of overtaking just because we will see people out of position because some of these guys who are very good.
And Hooplicious almost loses the back end. Sorry about that for cutting you off there, but Hooplicious barely saved that. So what a save from him as he goes around in the first sector. But yeah, continue. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Some of these guys are good in the dry, but not great in the wet. Some of them are very good in the wet and not fantastic in the dry, and vice. It just kind of brings a whole other group into the mix because even though your car might be a little bit quicker down the straightaway, if you can't get the power down, like we see Hooplicious still struggling to keep the car straight and keep the power down. It doesn't really make a difference if the wheels are spinning and you're having to catch the car, how much quicker your car is down the straights. So it can be all about the corners in the wet and all about the straightaways in the dry, which brings a different group of people to the front.
Yeah, for sure. And as we ride on board B-Dunk, he changed to those intermediate tires after doing his first lap on the wet. Pretty happy so far. I've been watching him. Your race winner from last weekend, I was very proud of him. He's a good buddy of mine. He won off of penalties. He didn't have many penalties, and other drivers did, so congratulations to him on last week. And he goes third, so he shakes it up a little bit up there. With a 147.2, beats New Zealand Ryan barely. We're going to go down to his teammate, Hooplicious, who crosses the line, moves up to 7th from 10th. He has been on it lately in the last couple of races. He's been definitely improving from the beginning of the season, as well as someone like BRL Sparky. Those two, me and Danny cannot tell about them enough. They have drastically improved over this course of the season. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1 and Sector 2. And now that is away. We're going to ride on board with Chandler Seda in his Williams. Pretty cool helmet this weekend. I quite like that. As he goes down to this right-hander. This is a prime overtaking spot. Definitely is going to be a prime overtaking spot throughout the race. We've seen it many times in the real race. As he comes through Sector 3 as of now. Pretty smooth through there. What can he do? He's in 6th right now. He's usually projected for a top 3. This guy is quick as he comes through the final corner. And his Williams, what can he do? And doesn't improve, so that's quite surprising.
Yeah, Chandler is back to what I was talking about a moment ago. He's one of those guys, he's fairly decent in the wet, but he's just...
Oh, and Taylor Clay is off.
He is. He's off down there at the exit of turns 2 and 3. Don't think he hit anything.
Yeah, I don't...
May have just been getting out of the way. But no, he looks like he's got some damage,
in.
Possibly. The front of the car.
Yeah, some of these drivers...
Nope,
yeah,
never mind, he's good.
Some of these drivers are... Okay. Yeah, some of these drivers are coming in now to put on a different set of fresh Pirelli tires and try it again before the death of the session. We have about 3 minutes and 45 seconds left as we watch Mean Fern in the Haas. Very good, consistent midfield driver. Down in 16th right now without a time, so hopefully he can put in a good one and move up. He goes 7th, so drastic improvement from him. Mean Fern up to 7th, 147.7. Very good time out of him.
Indeed, but back to what I was saying, Chandler, I've noticed this about him. In the wet, he's good, but he's not spectacular like he is in dry conditions. Not to take anything away from him as a driver, but it just doesn't he's either a bit too cautious or a bit too overly optimistic with his driving. He really hasn't found quite that happy medium that you really need.
Yeah, New Zealand Ryan extends that gap, wow, by a second. So he has just run a 146.1. So this track is definitely drying up as we're watching Chandler Seda come across the line now, goes 5th. And his teammate right behind him improves, but not to beat New Zealand Ryan. So New Zealand Ryan is unshakable right now in his Renault. These drivers will have another shot here. And
I think B-Dunk might be one of the guys to
Cookie.
look at here, because he is just now coming out of the pits with just 2.5 minutes to go. He may be the last man running. And now
Jared has left the session. So can you invite him for our note?
I will.
That is a shame for him. And Caspita is now out. So maybe he's just retired to the pit lane. It doesn't look like there is any yellow flags around here, but B-Dunk is going to be on a lap. He's going to be in that prime position. But Boss Cookie in his McLaren brings that thing up to 3rd on the grid as we watch Alan Hugo come around the final corner.
It is not letting me invite.
He goes 8th.
It's not letting me invite Jared.
All right. Yeah, it sometimes does that. We'll figure it out. He'll get an invite. And Mead Fern goes 5th. Wow, so he's improved as well as Alan Hugo, as we were just watching. He goes up, slots right in behind his teammate Dralix. But let's see what Dralix can do here. Very quick driver in his Mercedes. Around the final corner he comes. And I guess that was just a lap to just enjoy there. Warm-up lap for him. So most of these drivers are queuing up for this final lap.
They are, but I think the guy to watch here,
go.
I think the guy to watch here in this situation is going to be B-Dunk in that Alfa Romeo, because he is going to be on the newest tires, and if it is starting to rain less and dry up just a little bit, that can be huge around here.
Yeah, and B-Dunk like you said, he put on those fresh tires, and he's been going slow this whole lap. So he's been really positioning himself for a great lap. I know I talked to him earlier, and he said he was on for a good race tonight. So hopefully he can continue that after his win. But you said you commentated earlier, Owen, the Split 2 race in BRL. How did that go?
Well, up front, that was a fairly straightforward affair. HRC started from pole and took off to win the race by about 25 seconds, only relinquishing the lead at the pit stop. The story in that race, though, was behind him, as you saw Funky Cactus, who was actually on the default setup and ended up 5th from dead last and 15th at the start. SF1 Tom go from 11th to 4th, and Mex Space Taste go from 13th to 3rd. On the opposite strategy. Those three were the real story of the race. Saxman came home to complete the Mercedes 1-2, albeit almost half a minute adrift of his teammate. But just a wild race for the last place at the podium. It came down ultimately to penalties.
I got you. Yeah, it seems quite boring, but congrats to HRC, a BRL driver, winning that race. And New Zealand Ryan is in the pit, so most of these drivers aren't getting that full potential on these final flying laps. Let's see what Chandler can do. He's going to be the next one to cross the line besides Deer Hunter. No, it's Vivid. It's Shiza Vivid, who was a rookie last week and improves to 13th right in front of his teammate. And that seems to be a Williams. Is that a Williams around? Oh, and Chandler slides across the line, loses it, and goes 5th.
Now the question is
New Zealand
this:
Ryan has retired.
B-Dunk. I didn't see his split going through sector 2. He looks to be on a very composed lap right now. This has been very clean, not a whole lot of the car wagging around. He's coming through the final corners right now. Let's see what he can get off of the final
44,
corner.
45, 46. He's going to be third. So B-Dunk goes 3rd. So he really tried to extend those track limits there at the end. But Boss Cookie's the next one to cross the line, and his McLaren goes a little bit deep there. Hopefully he doesn't get an invalidation. That would be a shame for him. He's sitting in 4th right now and stays in 4th. The only one left is Alan Hugo. What can Alan do in his Mercedes? Comes up to the line and nothing. So that is your qualifying, folks. exciting at the end there. Not too much going on in the middle of it, but yeah, New Zealand Ryan. What a qualifying, what a dominant session he's just had. By 2/10 over ERS Ham Newton. He grabs pole. In second, we have ERS Ham Newton in his Williams with a 146.3. Right behind that, at the death of the session, we saw B-Dunk in his Alfa Romeo get that third position. And then we have Boss Cookie in the McLaren. Ginger Horizon, very good on his debut. Chandler Seda, who should be decently mad about where he is starting. Hopefully he can make that up in the race. Then comes Mean Fern in the Haas, VSR Duralix, BRL Sparky, and Alan Hugo rounds out your top 10. 11th is Taylor Clan. Hooplish just comes home in 12th. New Zealand Ryan, and actually that is DRC Jared. We are having some problems, New Zealand Ryan and DRC Jared, with their names tonight. So the two Renault drivers, there are two New Zealand Ryans. We do apologize to the viewers about that. But hey, the sun is out. The sun is shining. Oh, and this looks to be a good race. Who do you have? We like to take this time now to mention our driver of the day or one to watch. So, Owen, who do you think your driver of the day and one to watch is for this race here at the Russian Grand Prix?
Well, I think the guy to watch in this situation has got to probably be Jared, because he is starting so far down the grid order. He's very good at making overtakes in situations like this, and just carving his way through the field. So he is. I've kind of got to split the difference here between him and B-Dunk, because B-Dunk put in a very good qualifying effort there. When he's up towards the front, we know what he can do. If he can just stay out of trouble in the early laps, I think he can have a good chance to have a good race and maybe a shot at the victory.
And what about your driver of the day? Who do you think will be the driver of the day? Who do you think will win?
At this stage, because of wet qualifying, that's a toss-up. It could be Ginger Horizon, could be Ham, could be New Zealand Ryan, could be B-Dunk, could be Chandler.
All right, so you're throwing out everybody.
There's really nobody that sticks out right now that I'm thinking could definitely, without a doubt, win it. And that's why having wet sessions thrown in the middle kind of plays havoc with this. But it's probably going to be Ryan, because he is starting on pole, so I'll go with that.
All right, well, tonight I am going to go a little bit out of the box. I think a one to watch down in the field, I think is going to be Hooplicious. We've seen him all year be a consistent driver up in the midfield. In the last couple of races, he's been really getting on with some good points finishes and really showing his hand lately. So I think him down in 12th is one to watch. B-Dunk has left the session. That is not good. And it looks like we are doing a restart. I think we are doing a restarted grid here.
Yeah.
All the drivers are crashing out, which is quite funny.
Yeah, I just saw one of them get yeeted off by a Williams, and I was like,
We're out here doing donuts like it's the Red Bull videos that are posted on YouTube. We apologize for the viewers. We are going to restart this grid for some reason. It might be the name change. It might be a couple people joining in here at the end. It's probably some connection issues. We love the Formula One 2019 game. Hopefully in 2020 they make a better game. So I'm going to leave this session. Again, we apologize to the viewers. This happened a couple weeks ago. But I think this is a great time. This is the most opportune time, Owen, to shout out the BRL sponsors. So here at BRL, we do have some merch. We have t-shirts, we have sweatshirts, we have phone cases, computer mouse pads, some very good quality stuff. I love the stuff. I don't have one. I would love to be sent some shirts and stuff like that, but I would rep it. But yeah, no, very good, comfortable shirts, it looks like on the website. Some very good gear over there. Also, we are sponsored by GT Racing Gaming Chairs. I do not own one. I kind of wish I did. But very good quality chairs. I was looking on their website the other day. They got multiple different colors of chairs. They got different styles of chairs. So if you are in need of a gaming chair, just like B-Dunk 3 weeks ago, I'd head over to GT Racing Gaming Chairs. Also, we are sponsored by Rogue Energy. Not to be confused with Rowdy Energy or Red Bull or Rich Energy. Rogue Energy is supposed to be very good. I've read some reviews. Supposed to be very good. So it is a prime drink if you are staying up late and you need that extra kick, whether it's taking a test or you're in college or you're just racing on the sim. And finally, we are sponsored by Game Grind Coffee. It is a premium coffee for gamers. Go check that out if you are interested. I've heard it's good. But yeah, Owen, that is our sponsors. But is the lobby back up? Because I'm getting antsy to get going. Because that qualifying session was quite good.
I have yet to receive anything from anybody to get back into a session, so at this point, not quite.
All right, and again, we apologize to the 21 viewers. It is now 17, so people come back. But we apologize. We are restarting the game as some connection issues were prevalent in the game. This gives us some good time to talk to each other on some things. Oh, and how do you feel about the 2020 F1 game?
Well, how I feel about it is going to largely depend upon how the cars handle. Most of y'all probably noticed, for those of you that stayed around and watched pretty religiously from Season 1 to Season 2, that I took a step back from the Formula 1 cars because I just couldn't. I didn't mesh very well with the way the F1 cars handle in this game, just because they don't, to me, have very much of a feel to them. So hopefully that makes a bit of a comeback in the next game, and maybe I'll make a comeback. But yeah, personally, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a big improvement, and then looking on towards 2021 and 22. When the next generation of Formula 1 cars start to flesh themselves out, it's going to be a very interesting year next year, because the cars are going to be somewhat identical, but they are making some small wholesale changes to the car design processes, including the budget cap, which will be, I think, a very interesting thing to see how they implement all of that. It was supposed to be a full-on implementation of the new rules package as well, but that's now been pushed back to 2022.
Yeah. No, and I mean the game for me, this game I've loved this game. I loved 2018 much more. I was a much better driver on that game. I don't know, this like you said, this year's handling model was a little bit different and not suited to my driving style. But I look forward to 2020 with the new some of the different aspects of the game, different cars. Love the paint schemes. Some of the cars' performance, as we haven't really seen them out on track at all yet since the horrible time we are going through. And again, to all the viewers at home, we wish you peace and safe health during this pandemic that is terrible. They are lifting restrictions though here in the United States, where I'm from, so that is good. But hopefully you guys are all safe, and the viewers have just dropped from 17 to 5, so we love that. But we are getting into this lobby and gonna get this race going. Hopefully they all come back here, but yeah, no, I'm excited for the Formula 1 season when it gets going. I mean, I've been waiting for it. How about you, Owen?
I've definitely been waiting for it. Kind of curious how they plan on doing things going forward. I know they're talking about the double header at the Red Bull Ring, if possible, to kick things off. So will definitely be interesting. Unfortunately, we've already missed a few of some of I think the more entertaining tracks in the season. I hope that Zandvoort makes its way back onto the calendar. For the remainder of the year, since we've already bypassed the original run date.
And Vietnam.
Exactly, because those two have they've put those two tracks they've had a lot of work put into them, a lot of money put into them, Would hate to see all that go to waste for another 12 months before they have an opportunity to showcase themselves in this modern era of Formula One.
Yeah, definitely. But Vietnam is actually a really safe country during this virus. I was reading an article the other day, and they have a small amount of death over there, so their healthcare system is quite fantastic. But hopefully this virus goes away and everything goes back to normal. But as we get this lobby started up, this is a shame for the viewers. Again, I apologize for this. I wonder how Danny's date is going right now. That's really what I'm wondering about. He will be back next week, though, and we will be back and better than ever. We will be at the circuit of, what is it, Suzuka? I think Suzuka is next week, the Japanese Grand Prix. A lot of these drivers' favorite track.
Indeed, it is certainly my favorite track on the calendar, just because it's one of those classic circuits that hasn't really changed since its inception. Honestly, I can't really think of anything they've ever really done aside from maybe removing some gravel traps and replacing them with asphalt runoff. Aside from that, the layout of the circuit hasn't really changed ever.
Yeah.
But it was definitely my favorite track last night. We'll put it that way.
Yes, me and Owen do race in the F2 series of BRL. I did not have a good race, I will tell you that. But Owen did. I think he won that race, correct?
You could say that I still proved that I can't qualify to save my life in 6th place. But played the strategy right in the first race. Made my way up to 4th place, and then the safety car came out. And the 3 cars in front of me, 2 of them were already by the pit lane entrance when the safety car came out, and the third one reconsidered it because in Formula 2, there is a rule that you cannot pit under a virtual safety car and have a pit stop count, but you can under a full safety car. It's a little bit weird, and it bit me before because of that at Monaco, of all places. But I had time enough to read the situation for what it was and made it work. Ending up in the lead of the race, having a nice battle with number 1 FinFan 72 for the lead of the race there for a little while. He ended up in 4th after a time penalty, although he was 2nd on the road, I believe, at the end of the race. Not too far behind me, and then starting from 8th, just avoiding all the chaos. By the end of the first lap, I was up into 4th place. SF1 Rhodes pulled off, I believe, at the side of the circuit at turn 1 after getting just bumped it off on the first lap, and also overtook Chandler. And then Chandler actually missed the braking point into the chicane at the end of the lap. And if you go and watch my stream from last night, you will just see my car just get absolutely launched sideways into the chicane. Just absolutely got nailed right there, and then immediately afterwards had to dodge the spinning mean fern and stationary FinFan on the exit of the chicane on that same lap. Ended up getting by him, and unfortunately we had a little coming together shortly after that, and he ended up spinning around, and then chasing down Deer Hunter and Sparky and passing both of them after Deer Hunter spun while battling Sparky. So I ended up winning both races, even despite the lowly starting positions I had on a circuit that is not the easiest to overtake on. So definitely a good night for me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I did not have a good night, but looks like we're starting to get this thing going. Some of the drivers are readying up. Again, we apologize to the viewers. I cannot say that enough.
Yes, we apologize for this. It's not anything we have any control over. The game is being a bit odd as the looks like the drivers are struggling to ready up. The countdown timer was going for a second there. Not anything we can control. We apologize for the somewhat janky situation we have with this game sometimes. Some of them are entertaining, some of them like this are not.
Yeah, usually this never happens, but yeah, I guess it's gonna happen tonight. But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to next week at Suzuka. That's always always a fun racetrack. I don't like it personally. I like to watch races at Suzuka. I do not like to drive it. But as we're getting this thing going here, guys, so hopefully it's going to be a fun, exciting race filled with a lot of overtaking. Who are your drivers of the day, Owen, and your pick to win the race? This time, only give us one.
All right, well, driver to watch, going to definitely be Jared, starting down where he is, and pick to win the race, I would have to say, is going to be his teammate, New Zealand Ryan.
All right. So there you have it, folks. That is Owen's picks. I've picked Hooplicious as your one to watch. He is in the Alfa Romeo. I think he is starting 12th on the grid. Very consistent driver as of late. He's really been showing his hand lately, so I think he will be one to watch coming through the field. My one to win the race, and oh my God. Well, the connection issues continue to hit, but my pick to win the race has definitely got to be B-Dunk. B-Dunk won last week. He's coming to a track that he likes a lot here at Russia, and I think he will have the pace and he will shock the world once again here in the BRL community in the world and win this race here at the Sochi Autodrome as these drivers start to ready up as of now. Another driver to watch is Ginger Horizon 12 on his debut. Very good qualifying session out of him. Hopefully he can continue that success throughout the race.
Indeed, and just one final little plug on the Formula 2 class here at BRL. After the insanity that was last night, the championship gap has come down to just 10 points now between myself and Ham Newton with only 3 rounds left. So championship battle is definitely on. Don't miss that Friday nights at 10 Eastern.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very exciting league here in BRL. We have so many different races over so many different consoles, especially that F2 race on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, right before this, we do have a Split 2 race. That is a good one. I usually commentate that. I was out tonight. I had to do something. Also, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching. I'm pretty sure there's only 0, but again, Happy Mother's Day. That is tomorrow. Oh, and do you think Putin will make a appearance at this race?
We shall see if Comrade Putin makes an appearance.
Or will it be his double, who they usually send? We don't know. But as the drivers go on this parade lap, some exciting stuff about to come. New Zealand Ryan is on the pole in his Renault. His ERS Ham Newton follows him in his Williams, and B-Dunk rounds out your top 3.
And it looks like DRC Jared has retired from the session already, so that puts a little damper on my one to watch.
Yes, it does. So, do you have another one to watch?
The backup, I would have to say, is Ginger Horizon, just because he is an unknown quantity at this stage, starting up there in 5th place.
And we didn't even talk about the strategy around here. This track is very forgiving on the tire wear, so some of these drivers are starting on the softs, which is going to be much quicker than those mediums, I think. So Ginger Horizon is the first one to start on those mediums, along with VSR Hydraulics, his teammate Alan Hugo, Taylor Clan, Hooplicious, and Deer Hunter. So those drivers will be pretty quick at the end of the race when they put on those soft compound tires.
Yes, they will.
Cars start to form on the grid. This is going to be a good one.
And it looks like Boss Cookie was dropped from the formation lap there, so he's sitting on the grid with cold tires from P4. And you got to think that Chandler will be licking his chops looking at that position.
All right, so the grid is now formed. 5 red lights are now on your screen. Here they go. And lights out and away we go. New Zealand Ryan looks to get a great start, but ERS Ham Newton gets a better start. B-Dunk follows ERS Ham Newton. B-Dunk's going to be in a prime position here to overtake the two of them. They go 3 wide down the straightaway. Into turn 2 they go. B-Dunk around the outside of ERS Ham Newton takes the lead in his Alfa Romeo. Very great start from him, followed by ERS Ham Newton, New Zealand Ryan, followed then by Boss Cookie and Ginger Horizon, who's battling with Chandler Seda. Right behind them as they go 2 wide through that tight right-hand corner. And Ham Newton looks to be making a move on B-Dunk for the lead, but Chandler, Ginger Horizon, still battling it out, and Chandler has finally made his way up into 5th, so good start out of him, taking that position quite early. Oh, and there's a Mercedes going wide. It looks like Alan Hugo and Hydraulics, they are fighting. People are all over the track here. Those two Mercedes are nose to tail right now, but looks like one big train as DRS is not available as of yet, but B-Dunk leads for DRS Ham Newton, and then New Zealand Ryan is your top 3 right now as B-Dunk goes down into this right-hander. Will there be any overtakes here? It does not look like it. Everybody is staying. Oh, and oh my God! Delicious runs Shizza Vivid very wide through there as they continue the battle. They're going 2 wide through here, but it looks like Hooplicious is going to have the edge. This camera work is absolutely terrible around here. And Shizza Vivid, a Deer Hunter, is making a move on Taylor Clan and gets it done, and Caspita wanting to follow him through. And now Taylor Clan is down to dead last, so not the start he was looking for, but ERS Ham is gaining on B-Dunk. Down the back straightaway into this corner they go. Smooth through there, and Ryan is just lurking in the background. And DRC Jared has joined, but his car is not on the grid. So that is a real shame for him, as we see the closest battle as of now is between Hooplicious and Shizza Vivid. Can Hooplicious get his Alfa Romeo in front of that Red Bull? We will find out here in a moment. We're going to go back up through the field. Looks like the top 3 have created a little bit of a gap to Boss Cookie in the McLaren behind them. Ginger Horizon is still staying stationary in that 6th place position on those medium tires, so good start from him on that harder compounded tires. But DRS Ham Newton looks to pounce on B-Dunk. Without DRS, can he make this move done? It looks like he's a little bit far back, and I don't think he will send it early in the race, as I would. But smooth through there. B-Dunk nice and calm, but Ham Newton is hounding him now. He is harassing the back of his gearbox. And Ham Newton with a penalty, so that makes things even worse for Ham. That has been his one downfall all year, is his penalty situation at the end of the race. Now B-Dunk has a lot of ERS to spend here, as DRS is now available. This is the 3rd lap, and Ham Newton looks to make a move. With DRS activated, it's going to be real easy for him. Can he make this move work down into turn 2? And he flies by him, and New Zealand Ryan looks like he was going to make a move on B-Dunk there for 2nd as well, but thinks better of it as he's all over the back. Can he make this move? He thinks about it. Doesn't though. Smart from him as Ham Newton leads B-Dunk in 2nd and Ryan in 3rd, followed by Boss Cookie and Chandler. Then there's a little bit of a gap to Ginger Horizon, who looks to be holding the field up a little bit, Owen.
He does, in fact, look to be doing that, but he is on the medium tire, which is a fair bit slower for at least the first few laps than the soft. About lap probably 6 or 7, we'll start to see that equalize, and then towards about lap 9 to 11, it'll start coming back his way as far as pace goes.
Yeah, definitely. And as they go down the straightaway now, Taylor Clan gets a 3-second time penalty. DRS has activated. Can B-Dunk make a re-overtaking move on Ham Newton? Is going to be too far back, so he does not make the move on Ham.
I think he's just going to sit right behind him for this 3rd sector and wait until the car straightaway and return the favor exactly how Ham did. Or maybe Ham Newton is running a bit less downforce than B-Dunk, and it might be a bit more difficult for him to get back by that Williams.
Oh, and it looks like Caspita had a little bit of an issue there on that first couple of laps, so he had to pit and he put on the hard compounded tires. But ERS Ham Newton goes quickest with a 135.2, and B-Dunk is getting harassed by New Zealand Ryan, but is gaining on ERS Ham Newton down the straightaway. Can he make a move? He's in 0 ERS, so he will not be close enough to make one. But as they go around this left-hander, this quick left-hander. B-Dunk is going to stay on that inside line. Ham Newton protecting, or excuse me, the outside line. Gets a much better run than Ham Newton through there. And they're going almost side by side. Can B-Dunk make this over-under move stick? No, he cannot. So he stays right behind those two, behind ERS Ham Newton, as New Zealand Ryan looks to bounce in third. And Alan Hugo with a 3-second time penalty. He is down in 9th position as of now in his Mercedes.
I think this
some pretty exciting stuff so far.
Indeed, B-Dunk's made a very good start. He's hanging right there with Ham. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him to maybe get back by him, but he might just be better off sitting behind him.
Yes, he's gaining, and now he is by ERS Ham Newton. Will Ham Newton challenge him? No, he will not. So B-Dunk is now your race leader, and Ham Newton gets another 3-second time penalty. So within 4 laps, ERS Ham Newton has 2 time penalties of 3 seconds. So like I said earlier, this has been his downfall all year. He has some really good races.
Oh, we got some action in the back. Ginger Horizon
kill him. Yes, Ginger Horizon in his Ferrari on those mediums has spun. But we have to get back up here into the action. Alan Hugo harassing Sparky. Goes on the inside, gets by Sparky. But back up to the front, there's a 3-way battle for the lead. It looks like ERS Ham on B-Dunk. Breaks a little bit later than B-Dunk. B-Dunk holds that outside line for that, and then the inside. And Ham Newton's going really wide. So this is going to open the door up for New Zealand Ryan. And New Zealand Ryan has now overtaken. They're side by side still, and now is overtaken ERS Ham Newton. Boss Cookie looks to pounce right behind that, and Ham Newton is losing positions back and forth. And all over the racetrack. And then here comes Chandler Seda, his Williams teammate, up into the mix. So that is the last guy these guys want to see in their mirror, because he is a very dangerous driver. By dangerous, I mean good.
Well,
some individuals, that would have been a dig.
Well, some individuals may argue the opposite point, but
yeah.
Anyway, he is very aggressive. We'll leave it at that.
And New Zealand Ryan looks to make a move here on B-Dunk and thinks better of it, so he's going to stay right behind him and bide his time. Right behind them, there's a bit of a train. Ham Newton is holding Boss Cookie and Chandler up just a little bit, it looks like. And Chandler is not been pushing at all, and Casper the V12 is out. Looks like he is retired in the pits. He's had enough of it here in Russia. Maybe Putin has assassinated him or something, but we ride along with Chandler. 0 ERS switches it up into overtake, but he's just been saving and biding his time back there. But Ham Newton looks to make a move on B-Dunk, goes to the inside, to the right, and he looks to be by B-Dunk. Unless B-Dunk can pull off the great switchback, looks like he can't. They touch just a little bit through that corner. So behind them, not much is going on. We're going to ride on board with ERS Ham Newton. Watch this action just in front of him. But New Zealand Ryan is your new leader here. Your points leader as well in BRL Split 1. Last week he did dominate that race in New Zealand.
And now
Ryan
he
now
picks
is a
up a
3-second time
penalty.
penalty. Yeah, so this is going to shake up things here at the end. This track is known to be a penalty getter, I guess you could say that.
It is definitely very easy to pick up a penalty. B-Dunk, currently sitting on 2 warnings, does not have a penalty. Both the guys around him do.
And B-Dunk thinks better of a move there. B-Dunk now with a 3-second time penalty. So there it is, folks. I mean, whoever wins this race will have the least amount of penalties in this top 5. I'm telling you right now.
And Ham gets a 3rd one.
Oh, man. So Ham Newton is already up to 9 seconds. B-Dunk has 3. New Zealand Ryan has 3. I'm not sure about Boss Cookie, which is quite interesting because usually we see him screw up every week. Not going to lie.
He has got 2 warnings.
We love him.
He's got 2 warnings on the first lap. I'm not sure what for. One of them may have been an incident warning with another car, but he may have at least 2 warnings for... Yeah, he had a collision with Chandler Seda. They both got a warning for that. And then Boss Cookie has, looks like 2 warnings. Yeah, for exceeding track limits.
All right.
Chandler has just one warning for exceeding track limits and the one warning for the contact with V-Dunk, or with Boss Cookie.
All right. So Chandler is in that prime position, right, as of now. But the field is spread out. There's almost 3 packs going on here. When you have the first 5, excuse my language, then you have 6 through 9, and then you have 10 through 14 out here. So not much going on as of now, but DRS is activated, so B-Dunk looks to make another move on New Zealand Ryan. I think the prime opportunity to overtake is the front stretch, not this corner, unless you feel quite bold.
Yes, unless you're feeling a bit froggy. That's not really a bit. It's not really a good overtaking spot. As Ham runs very deep.
And Ham Newton, yeah, he runs very deep, and that might open the door for Boss Cookie here to get real nice and close. Will he make a move? No.
And Chandler's going to go ahead and dive into the pits early here and just get out from behind all this, run his own race, which is honestly, I think that's the smart move right now, because these guys are fighting each other, slowing him down, and they're getting penalties amongst themselves, and he's sitting in the best position.
Yeah, I think that is a great strategy call from Chandler Seda to go on those medium compounded tires here at the beginning stages of this race. See what he can do.
And there's
without
Boss
any
Cookie with the
traffic
penalty.
to bother him. Ah, so there is Boss Cookie in his McLaren.
So,
week in and week out.
So now all the top 4 have at least one time penalty. Ham has 9 seconds worth of penalties. The other 3 have 3 each. And Chandler is still sitting on nothing. So if this all pans out, Chandler could win the race and finish 5th on the road right now.
Yeah, and he is in very clean air. I mean, Taylor Clan is 9 seconds. Can I do some math?
11 seconds
No,
almost.
he is 12, yeah, 11 seconds, yes. He is 11 seconds away, so that is some clean air for him, and these drivers should start piling into the pits here at some point.
Indeed, and even if he does chase him down, it's now down to 10 seconds already, even if he does chase him down very quickly, he's going to have such a pace advantage with 7-lap newer tires, as well as just the setup of the car and just general speed, that he should be able to dispose of him quite quickly and then have another 3 or 4 second gap up to Ginger Horizon. As now B-Dunk looks to be heading to the pits. He is.
Yeah, so B-Dunk is pulling the trigger early as well. The Deer Hunter with a 3-second time penalty. He's mired back in 11th, not the race he would want to have. But Boss Cookie does look pretty close to DRS. Ham Newton does not have DRS. What can Boss Cookie do here? Overtake mode is activated. Will he send it?
He is going to go for it.
Yes, he will. And
runs
thinks better of it at the last
minute.
minute.
Surrender the position back.
So these two are battling it out as of now, which is going to open the door for someone like Chandler when they all cycle through their pit stops. Now, Owen, is it just a little bit early for pit stops? Because I would pit at around like lap 12.
Maybe just a little bit early, but if you are stuck behind somebody, indeed, if you are stuck behind a gaggle of cars like Chandler was, or maybe just wanting to get away from people like B-Dunk probably was, that might not be a bad decision. Which now B-Dunk is a couple of seconds.
Oh, and Boss Cookie loses it. Saves it, though. Wow, that was close. Locked it up, though, but that's going to lose him lots of time to ERS Ham Newman. Someone who we haven't really talked about, but the 2 Mercedes guys, they're on the medium compounded tires, so they can run extremely long here. Oh, and Alan Hugo gets real loose as we're watching him on board. Whew! I mean, some of these drivers, they're getting real squirrely here in these early stages of this race. I mean, there's a lot of laps to go, and the Red Bulls look to be fighting. Shizza Vivid and Deer Hunter. And Boss Cookie with a 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane, so we will have to keep track of that. He was getting real squirrely there at the end of this first stint for him, but Shizza Vivid is also in the pit lane, his Red Bull. He brings his Red Bull in to be serviced. But the battle is up here between 3rd and 5th as of now. Alan Hugo, Mead Fern, and BSR Hydraulics occupy those positions. And where does Chandler Seda and B-Dunk come out at?
They are ahead of Boss Cookie by quite a ways here.
Yes, they are. So Boss Cookie's in the background there. So B-Dunk is your leader, I think, as of now, when everything cycles through.
He will be because
undercut.
it is about a 25 to 28 second pit lane delta. So right now he is the net race leader right now.
Yes, he is. So Chandler follows him pretty closely, and we'll watch that battle as it continues to boil here in the middle parts of the race. But someone behind them who's going to be on fresher tires than them is Boss Cookie, so he's going to be making a charge. He's just in the distance there in his McLaren. But VSR Hydraulics looks to be making a move on Mean Fern, who looks to be struggling on those tires, Owen.
He is. We're here on lap 10, so the softs are going to start giving up a good bit of grip at this point as New Zealand Ryland comes into the pits, as does Ham Newton.
Yeah, Mean Fern is also in the pits. So the front couple of drivers who are leading the race, and Mean Fern, who is in fourth, are pitting. They're on the soft compound tires, so this opens the door for Alan Hugo and Hydraulics and Hooplicious to open up a gap.
It really does.
What they can do on those mediums.
It's actually, at this stage, it's not so much about opening up a gap, it's just minimizing how much the gap to the guys behind comes down. Because the guys behind...
we're watching B-Dunk, and B-Dunk has already overtaken New Zealand Ryan.
I told you he was going to be...
Chandler, this is going to be really close down into turn 2, excuse me.
I told you, B-Dunk was going to have it over on him. And
yeah,
just he must have put in just the in and out laps to end all in and out laps to get that much time, because he was a decent bit behind New Zealand Ryan when he hit into the pits, at least maybe 7 or 8 tenths, and now he's a few seconds ahead of him. So I think B-Dunk played the timing of the pit stop to perfection, because Chandler came out, and I think B-Dunk's tires still had a little bit of life, so he was able to stay ahead of him and jump him. On the pit stop.
With another 3-second time penalty. I was just going to talk about him too. I was going to say he has gotten by ERS Ham Newton through this pit stop cycle, and he finds himself in 10th, which is a net 4th as of now. But yeah, B-Dunk, like you were saying, very good strategy call from him.
He's stolen a march on the rest of them strategy-wise here, and this is probably one of the more entertaining tactical races I've seen. All year long, really.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully he can stay out front, since he is my one to win this race. But Chandler does not have any penalties. Remember that.
Exactly.
Chandler is penaltyless.
Of course, that could change.
That's a word. But yeah, as we go up through the field, these guys 1st through 6th have not pit. As we ride on board Ginger Horizon, looking to make a move on Deer Hunter. Again, not the race Ginger had planned for. He spun out early in the race, but hopefully he can make a strong recovery from that, as he's all over the back of Deer Hunter. Alan Hugo is now your leader. He's got a 2.5 second lead over his teammate VSR Hydraulics on those 11 laps worn mediums. Then comes Hooplicious in his Alfa Romeo, and Deer Hunter, Ginger Horizon, and Taylor Clan are your top 6 as of now, who have not pitted. Let's see. And your biggest gainer of the race as of now is Deer Hunter, who's up 11 positions. So far, he is your biggest mover.
You're continuing to watch the battle for what will become, at some point again, the lead of the race. Chandler and Ryan both have DRS. B-Dunk does not, so they are closing down on him. No
Ham
moves
Newton
being
gets
made.
by Boss Cookie, and Boss Cookie goes a little bit deep and gets him right back, but Ham Newton's going to have the better exit coming out of this corner. Will he? No, he will not. So Boss Cookie stays ahead, but those two are battling it out. And Ryan is now all over the back of Chandler Seda, who is your net leader as of now, but these guys are going to have DRS on B-Dunk. So Chandler and Ryan look to overtake B-Dunk here. Chandler has all the DRS stored up, and B-Dunk is almost out. So that is just a pace advantage for Chandler. He's going to stay behind B-Dunk, surprisingly though. And
Chandler
Ham Newton thinks about a move and thinks better of it at the last minute on Boss Cookie in the McLaren. So those two stay the same.
I will say this.
Go ahead, Owen.
I've noticed this. He is probably one of the best, if not the best driver I have ever seen as far as maintaining his pace and keeping that battery charged, because all the guys around him are at the 30 to 40, maybe even lower percentage. He is at almost the full charge.
Yeah,
so he has got this.
Really impressive, especially around here. A high-speed track made for a lot of overtaking, so it just shows the type of consistency and driver he really is. But will New Zealand Ryan be able to make a move here? It does not look like it. He's a little bit too far back, but ERS Ham Newton is going to be all over the back of Boss Cookie. Will he make a move on Boss Cookie? Will he send it? No, he will not. So ERS Ham Newton thinks better of it again at the last moment on Boss Cookie, and those two continue to battle.
All right, and now the front net three here have caught up to the back of Taylor Clan. Will that balk B-Dunk at all, or will he get a DRS and get a bit of a free pass and kind of take a breath from the having to defend from the Williams behind?
I think it's going to help him actually, because
it
Taylor
will help
Clan
him.
does not have DRS, and they're gaining, and B-Dunk moves over to the right. But Chandler is going to be too far back, so this is really going to help B-Dunk now.
This is going to help B-Dunk hugely, but
and Taylor just
runs
gets
wide.
out of the way. No, he just gets out of the way there. And Boss Cookie and ERS Ham Newton are going at it now. Those two going side by side through this fast left-hand corner. Who will give? Who will give? Nobody. As of right now. So those two continue to go side by side, and Ham Newton has made the move stick, so he is now up into 10th, and Boss Cookie is now back down to 11th and receives a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So track limits was going to be a big storyline coming into this race, and it continues to be one. So as of now, B-Dunk is still out in front of Chandler and New Zealand Ryan, up in the higher up positions, let's say. Nice English, am I right? But Ginger Horizon and Deer Hunter are going at it for 4th and 5th place. They have stayed near each other for pretty much this whole race now. Hooplicious is in a league of his own, and the two Mercedes are, like usual in real life, are pulling away from the lead. So right now the battle is really between 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, and 11th.
And Chandler getting very squirrely outside of that last corner there.
Yeah, and New Zealand Ryan is now all over the back of him. Can New Zealand Ryan make this move? It looks like Chandler Seda is running a less wing. Can New Zealand Ryan send it? No, he does not. And Chandler goes very deep. Hard on the brakes, but didn't look that deep. That was quite surprising. But as they continue to follow the leader, follow B-Dunk, who is in 6th position, is Alfa Romeo. New Zealand Ryan gets a better run though, but Chandler just continues to pull away here.
I think so. I think I may have figured out what Chandler might be doing here.
So what is he doing?
This is my theory, is because I know he typically in the F2 cars and in the F1 cars typically runs a little bit less wing than I do. I think that allows him to use less.
B-Dunk gets a little bit squirrely.
It does, but I think that allows Chandler to use a little bit less ERS and get the same speed out of the car on the straightaway, so he doesn't have to use the ERS to defend and attack nearly as much as the rest of us do. And then he's able to save it through sections of the track like this where you can't really make a move anyway. And I think that is my, at least partially my theory.
And he goes a little bit deep, so this is going to compromise his exit. Will New Zealand Ryan make a move? They're going to go too wide.
He is going to make a move
Ryan
here.
Looks to make a move. And Chandler just kind of squeezes him down low there. They're going 2 by 2 through that final corner, which is quite tight. But they are still side by side, and this is just leading into B-Dunk's pleasure right now. New Zealand Ryan gets by him, but Chandler
has DRS.
He's going to make another move.
He's going to get back by him.
He does have that better wing, and yes, he does. He makes the move work. So Chandler now back up into 6th, and New Zealand Ryan down to the 7th. Taylor Clan has let ERS Ham Newton by on that straightaway, and Boss Cookie moves him kind of out of the way almost. But Boss Cookie is now up into 9th. That is a net 5th for him as of now. But Hugo and VSR Dralix are still out there, and Hugo looks to lost a bunch of time there to his teammate VSR Dralix. But those two have to come in at some point, and we'll find out.
Very sideways. Hangs on to it, but got very, very sideways through turn 9 there.
And Ginger Horizon with a 3-second time penalty. And Chandler does not have a time penalty, I don't think yet.
He does not have a time penalty yet. That can change very easily. We've still got him almost half the race to run as he runs very deep in that corner at the end of the back straightaway in his pursuit of B-Dunk. He was almost out of B-Dunk's DRS range there, which would have been huge for him.
Yeah, definitely. We ride on board New Zealand Ryan here in his Renault coming through the final sector. Oh, and ERS Ham Newton and Boss Cookie are still going at it. Those two will just not go away from each other. But again, hello to the viewers at home, and those guys are pitting. So Alan Hugo is in the pits, as well as
Delicious and Deer Hunter.
So those guys are. And VSR Dralix is our leader as of now with a 12-second gap. He's the only one yet to pit. But I am interested to see what Alan Hugo can do on those soft compounded tires here at the end of the race. He's going to be very, very far back, though. So
he is.
But and Boss Cookie runs really wide. He almost looked like he hit that barrier. Wow, that was close.
I think
in the corner of my eye, I just saw it. But again, hello to all the viewers, all 12 of them at home. We are the Breakout Racing League again here at Russia Split 1. As we continue up with the front runners. B-Dunk is in second. Chandler's followed by Chandler Seda. New Zealand Ryan. VSR Dralix has yet to pit, so B-Dunk is your net leader as of now in his Alfa Romeo. Oh, and you said you were going to say something earlier. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
I think Alan may have jumped the gun by a lap or two on the pit stop there, because these soft tires only get about 9 or 10 good laps out of them, and then that 11th lap, they just kind of don't have that same, even the 10th lap, they don't have that same oomph to them, and they just kind of hit a wall. So I think he may have jumped the gun a little bit as we see Dralix now dive into the pits as the 3 leaders go by. This is still anybody's race, because if Chandler gets a penalty, then everybody's level, and this is all to play for between these 3.
And New Zealand Ryan looks to make a move on Chandler. He sends it down the inside. Will he have this position? They touch. They're going to go too wide around the left-hander here. Chandler is going to have the inside. This is just playing in a B-Dunk's plan, and Chandler gets the position back, but New Zealand Ryan is going to have that better exit. Can he get by Chandler is the question. No, he cannot. So Chandler retains his second-place position, followed by New Zealand Ryan, ERS Ham Newton, and Boss Cookie is your top 5. But Alan Hugo is coming. He has run the fastest first sector, and he is pretty close to Taylor Clan. He's gaining each lap on Taylor Clan, who has not pit yet. So he better come in quite soon, because his race is almost over. But then there's a gap to Boss Cookie around 5 seconds that Alan Hugo will have to make up in order to get up to that 5th place position. But as we ride on board with New Zealand Ryan here, he is in 3rd, right behind Chandler Seda and B-Dunk, your race leader. I'm just really impressed with B-Dunk right now. This is one of his favorite tracks, don't get me wrong, but he is up here fighting.
He is not taking it lying down.
No, he's not.
And he's actually pulled a little bit of a gap. He is almost out of range, Chandler, to have DRS. And I think if Ryan and Chandler can continue fighting each other here, I think if they continue to do this...
Ryan goes for another move down into 2. Oh, and they touch again.
I think if they keep this up for another lap or 2, B-Dunk's going to break the DRS, and he might start driving away.
Well, if B-Dunk starts driving away, that plays right in the hands of him, because Chandler Seda does not have a penalty as of yet.
Exactly.
So B-Dunk can extend that gap.
He needs to pull another 2 seconds on Chandler to get that gap out where he needs to do it, and he needs to start going now. He needs Ryan to get up there and start just harrying the Williams.
You know, I actually think someone that's in a prime position right now is Alan Hugo. Remember earlier in the race, ERS Ham Newton picked up 9 seconds in time penalties, and Boss Cookie has 6 seconds. So that puts Alan Hugo in the 4th as of now. So, and he is on those soft tires, and he is flying through this field.
He is cutting the gap down. He was 9 seconds back in the lead. He's now down to 7 just a lap later. He is absolutely flying. He is
definitely. I mean,
he is going like a bat out of hell, and I would not be shocked to see him get on the podium here.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? New Zealand Ryan does. I think he has 3 seconds, or maybe 6. I am not sure, but that could change. Like we said, penalties are key at this racetrack. Hello to all the 17 viewers. Oh,
Ryan's
things
going
are
for
getting
another move.
real squirrely. Yes, he will. Taylor got a bad exit. Ryan's going for another move as Alan Hugo keeps putting in those purple laps.
He's already knocked
But
another
Taylor
second
is running a
off
little
the
bit of a
lead.
wing. Will Ryan go down the inside? Yes, he will. He's going to leave him room. And he gets by Chandler Seda for second. What a move from New Zealand Ryan. So Ryan is now setting his sights on B-Dunk.
I think
he's kind of left Chandler Seda out to dry.
I think aside from the two of them continuing to fight and allowing B-Dunk to extend the gap, I think that might have been the best thing for B-Dunk right there, unless Ryan can get by him, which is looking likely right now because Ryan has already reeled in the gap up to B-Dunk.
Yes, but here comes Chandler back into the fight. And 2 guys to watch out for. Here coming very fast is Alan Hugo and VSR Dralix. The 2 Mercedes are on those softs and flying through
They
the
are
field.
on
Alan
a
Hugo.
march.
Alan Hugo is almost up to Boss Cookie, and I actually think the contrast strategy of what they're doing is the best strategy around here. To be at those softs on the end while drivers are fighting. As we watch right now, B-Dunk still in the lead by 4/10 over New Zealand Ryan, 3/10 now.
Ooh,
Chandler Sada just lurking in the background.
Allen does
But B-Dunk looks unflappable right now.
Allen has 3 penalties. Dralix has none.
So Dralix is the one you really want to watch in this Mercedes.
VSR Dralix is sitting on a warning right now, and that's it.
Wow. I mean, we've seen Dralix's masterpiece before at some of these high penalty tracks. As New Zealand Ryan is gaining on B-Dunk with DRS and thinks better of it, does not make a move. So B-Dunk still is in first place, looks unflappable out there today, but New Zealand Ryan is pressurizing him. It's kind of like 2005 at Imola, when Michael Schumacher was trying to get around Fernando Alonso and just couldn't that whole entire race. I saw that highlight the other day on F1's Instagram page, but back up to the action. B-Dunk still leading by 2 seconds. Chandler Sada is in 3rd. Whereas Sam Newton and Boss Cookie are being caught by Alan Hugo, who just picks up another time penalty. So Alan Hugo now
this is what I'm wondering.
3rd or 4th.
Is Allen dragging Dralix along?
I think this is a team play. I think you are exactly right here. And B-Dunk looks to extend that gap, actually. He looks to extend it by a 10th through that last sector. So B-Dunk is still out in the lead and looks like nobody can touch him as of now. But Dralix is the one you really want to watch down in 7th position. He's got 3 laps of those soft compound tires. And he is coming fast. And oh my God, B-Dunk gets a terrible exit, and here comes Ryan now. But the battle is going to be right behind them, 4 seconds back.
This is the thing. Chandler still doesn't have that penalty. He's got 2 warnings.
No, he does not.
If he doesn't pick up a warning here, doesn't pick up a penalty.
Oh, and New Zealand Ryan is going to go around the outside of B-Dunk down the back straightaway with DRS. Will B-Dunk try and break him? Yes, he breaks late. New Zealand Ryan, will he have a switchback? Yes, he does. They go side by side around the outside. New Zealand Ryan around the left-hander. Will he send it? No, he will not. Thinks better of it into this right-hander. But this opens the door for someone like Chandler Sada to catch up, and then behind them,
look at
Alan
this.
Hugo trying. Look at this. Alan Hugo trying to make a move on the inside of ERS Hamden. Does, and now Alan Hugo is now up in the 4th position. Here comes Boss Cookie on ERS Hamden. They touch. ERS Hamden is off with another 3-second time penalty, and here opens the door for Dralix. So now Dralix is up in the 6th position. As teammates up into 4th, and Boscovy is now up into 5th as we return back up to the leaders. New Zealand Ryan is 3/10 away from B-Dunk and looking to make a move with this DRS. What just happened there, Owen?
Sheer insanity, but this is the thing. Drolix is only 4.5 seconds back. If Chandler picks up a penalty here and he can continue the march that he is on to the front, he needs to get around Cookie right here and he needs to do it quick. I think he'll get him down the front straightaway because I think Allen is a little bit too far away.
Yes, and Drolix does have a lot of DRS. He's got more than half saved up. So he's going to look to overtake Boscovy and see if he can drive up to those leaders or even Chandler Seda. Chandler Seda right now is your net leader because he does not have any penalties, but that may change within the next 4 to 5. Is it 5 laps? I'm not sure, but whatever. But B-Dunk is going to defend the outside, so New Zealand Ryan looks to make a move on the inside. B-Dunk, wow, what a move! What a defensive move from B-Dunk.
This is why these guys are some of the best in the world.
Oh no, this is again BRL, the best league in America. This is the best split race.
This is the best
in America.
This is the best league on Xbox. Not just.
Oh yeah, no.
This is
sure.
by bar none. We have 7 cars with a chance to win this race within 5.2 seconds after 22.
Oh, it's B-Dunk with a 3-second time penalty.
No, that's just gonna kill it.
And I think I saw someone also got a 3-second time penalty. I'd want you to check that.
It was somebody farther down the grid here.
Oh, was it? Was it? All right. I thought it was someone like Alan Hugo or Drolix who just got a penalty, but it does not look like that. So B-Dunk picks up another time penalty. He is in the lead on track as of now. But New Zealand Ryan continues to harass him, and Chandler Seda still back there lurking. And here comes Alan Hugo, Drolix, and Cookie.
And Drolix still just sitting on the 1 warning.
Yeah, I really think Drolix, if he gets going here, I think he's got a real big shot to win this race. And B-Dunk can continue to hold New Zealand Ryan up with this massive defensive effort that he is putting in right now. They're both on almost the same ERS, but New Zealand Ryan is going to have DRS, and B-Dunk goes to the outside. He's going to try the switchback on Ryan. I don't know if it's going to work. He's going to get the better exit. Oh, and B-Dunk's going to pull it. Oh, what a block! Oh my God, and B-Dunk finds a way up the inside. New Zealand Ryan, that was almost a massive collision, but these two battling through here is going to promote Chandler Seda to gain some time, but New Zealand Ryan looks to make the move done on B-Dunk, and I think he does have the move done, and B-Dunk ran a little bit wide there because of New Zealand Ryan pushing him off. Excuse me, I'm talking way too much. Boscovy with another 3-second time penalty, and this just plays in the hands of someone like DSR Drolix. Yellow flag sector 1, and it's Shiva Vivid, our rookie from last week, has retired from the session, so
too late for hopes of a safety. It's too late for the hopes of a safety car. B-Dunk has DRS on Ryan.
And look at Drolix and Hugo. Here they come. DSR Drolix is 2 seconds. Oh, and B-Dunk and Ryan are going at it. They're going too wide. B-Dunk made a move on him.
Right now because
here comes Chandler Seda, and behind them you have Alan Hugo and Drolix.
If Alan gets to Chandler,
he's there.
He is there. If he can get,
he is there.
If he can get a nose in, that opens the door for Drolix, and if Drolix can make a move and make it stick cleanly, that is this race right now.
I think Drolix and Chandler are going to be 1 and 2 because Chandler has the most ERS. Right behind him, Alan Hugo looks to be coming, and Drolix still has over half of his ERS. So there's a massive DRS train going on right now, 1st through 5th. Anyone can win this race. Boscovy and ERS Ham Newton have fallen off a little bit, so it's now up to the first 5 to decide this race. And Alan Hugo looks effective on getting Chandler. And Ryan has now picked up a 2nd time penalty. So, wow. All right. So as of now, Chandler Seda is your winner, followed by DSR Drolix and New Zealand Ryan. Oh, and Hugo lets Drolix. Yes, he does. So Hugo understands what is going on here.
Right here. He knows that if his teammate can get around Chandler, that he can win this race.
Oh, and what a run! What a run for Alan, for DSR Drolix. He's going to make a move here on on Chandler.
Is this going to be the move? Is this it? Is this it? Chandler defends.
No, it
Dralic is going to have the
locks up.
comeback.
What a move from VSR Dralic.
He got him.
Wow.
Oh
He got
God.
him. He's got him. And Alan Hugo has also got him. So now his teammate can hold him up a little bit. And VSR Dralic is going to drive it in the sunset and hopefully win this race. But the battle on track continues between B-Dunk and New Zealand Ryan. New Zealand Ryan is in the lead, but not by much. 3/10 as they head onto the front straightaway. DRS is activated as of now for B-Dunk. Right behind them, Dralic is coming very quickly. And Hugo and Chandler.
DRS right now.
Yes, for sure. Oh, and Ryan runs wide. So this opens the door for B-Dunk. I'm surprised Ryan didn't get a penalty there for running that wide, but VSR Dralic is now up into the mix all over B-Dunk. He's going to try it up the inside. What a move, and can't make it stick there. Breaks a little bit too early and locks up. That opened the door for B-Dunk to retain that position, but wow. Woo! Again, to the AT viewers at home, this is one of the most exciting races here at the end of a VRL race that I've ever seen. VSR Dralic is on for a win as of now, and Alan Hugo, his teammate, is now all over the back of him, and Chandler Seda is still lurking in the background with all that ERS, so he best use that to
Another
hell.
time penalty there. I think he's
Yes,
pushing
he does,
a
so
little
B-Dunk.
bit too hard right now, trying to get that position back from Ryan.
Yeah, as they're on the penultimate lap, coming up to the final lap here in a minute, going through the third sector. B-Dunk is now 9 seconds. New Zealand Ryan only has 6, so as of now, B-Dunk is not on the podium. New Zealand Ryan is, unless he can get around him or New Zealand Ryan gets a time penalty, and here comes Dralic just chilling right there.
I think Dralic just needs to say, fuck it, pardon my language, and just sit there. Because he's got his teammate behind him, he's got no penalties, and the two guys in front of him are going to drop like stones after this.
Yeah, I really think I'm going to go with you there. Not with the language, but I'm going to go with you there. But as we continue, New Zealand on the final lap, New Zealand Ryan is your leader, followed by B-Dunk and VSR Dralic, who is your net winner of this race, who's followed by Alan Hugo, his teammate, and Chandler was just fallen off a little bit here, but he is your net second place, and Dralic looks to be gaining on B-Dunk through this sector, so I think B-Dunk's tires are really falling off now, and he is out of ERS.
And this is going back to what I was talking about earlier. This is why I think it's a bit to do with down. Oh, as Dralic gets very sideways.
Oh my God!
Right, almost throws
what
it away.
A save! What a save! You almost threw that away. Wow, that would have been a gut-wrenching.
Settle down, son.
I just need you to stay there, Dralic. You have won at the Sochi Autodrome, but his teammate right behind him is really helping him out here. So they come through the final couple of corners here in Sector 3, New Zealand Ryan.
Those Mercedes cars are feeling the tire wear right now. You can just absolutely see it with Dralic driving. He is just skittering all over the place. So coming around the final corner.
But as they come into the final corner, yes, New Zealand Ryan is going to win your race on track, but where will he fall? VSR Dralic has won this race, and Chandler Seda has come in second, followed by New Zealand Ryan. B-Dunk and Hooplicious comes out of nowhere because of ERS Ham Newton and Boss Cookie's penalties.
And Hugo's
finishes
penalties.
Right behind his, and Hugo's penalties. So he's come out of nowhere and finished 5th. So what a race from Hooplicious in the Alfa Romeo. Alan Hugo is now in 6th, and ERS Ham Newton finds himself in 7th. So your winner, VSR Dralic, had no penalties. I have to applaud him for that. That is a big time feat around here at the Sochi Autodrome, so good for him as they're beating and banging after the flag has finished the race. Some love taps are going on between the drivers, but
you
what
have
a race,
to you have to just think that there's going to be some big celebrations down at Mercedes. It's not a 1-2, but the strategy from those two drivers and the sense from Alan Hugo there to see that his teammate had far less penalties than he did with a few laps left, to pull over out of the way, give him the position to let him go after Chandler, and to just
We've
drag
definitely
him.
seen that from Mercedes before.
And to
you
just
know,
and
around
to
here.
drag him all the way up there. When they came out of the pits, they were 9 and 10 seconds back from the lead, respectively.
Yes, they were.
Allen
So,
drug
yeah,
them
go ahead.
both up there and gave Drolix a chance. So don't think that was all on him. That was a team effort from those two.
Yes, again, what a race. What a final couple, I don't know, maybe 10 laps of this Russian Grand Prix. Your winner, VSR Drolix in his Mercedes with 0 penalties. What a race out of him. Chandler Seda as well.
Also with 0
in
penalties.
his Williams. Yes, he has come home in second, followed by New Zealand Ryan Beedunk with 9 seconds. Hooplicious with 6 seconds. Alan Hugo with, I think that is
12 seconds.
12 seconds, yes. ERS Ham Newton comes home 15 seconds of penalties. Boss Cookie with 17 seconds. I kind of had a feeling. But then followed by Mean Fern in his Haas finishes 9th, and Deer Hunter rounds out your top 10 with that final points paying position. VRL Sparky comes home in 11th. Bad race for him. Ginger Horizon, the rookie, starts 5th, has a disaster of a race. Finishes in 12th. He looks to improve on that next week. Taylor Clan in 13th. Vivid in 14th. Caspita V12 rounds out your top 15, you could say. That he is the final finisher in this race. We are going to get these drivers in this party. Ferrari, or Owen, could you invite Chandler, Ryan, and Drolix?
Yes, I can. Let us get back to the lobby here.
We are going to interview these drivers. I'm positive VSR Drolix is very excited.
You know I'm going to ask Drolix about that move.
All right. Well, I will ask the first questions and then go ahead. And it is off to you, Owen. All right. So we have the second place finisher, Chandler Seda, in here now. We're still waiting on New Zealand Ryan and VSR Drolix to join. Again, hello to all 16 viewers at home, and VSR Drolix has joined. Drolix, could you check that box for me?
It is done, sir.
All right. So what a race from you. I mean, you were back there, kind of mired behind your teammate for most of the race. We didn't really think you had much of a shot until you put on those soft tires and you just ran through the field. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, so I kind of bottled quality, so I started kind of towards the bottom of the top 10, which wasn't ideal, but I was pretty sure that the alternate strategy was OP, so I decided to go for it, made sure not to get wing damage. Hugo did get past me in the first lap. We had like a side-by-side battle for half the lap, so that was exciting, but I didn't really want the battle. And yeah, then it was just kind of preserving ERS. I guess ERS is kind of easy to save here, because when I came into the pits for my sauce, I had a full 100% ERS, so I could push on fresh tires that were like 2 seconds quicker than everyone else. And I caught up to Hugo in traffic, and then he let me by because he had 9 seconds of penalties, and I didn't. And I didn't know who had penalties and who didn't. So I got past Chandler, and then I couldn't get past B-Dunk and Ryan, but I kind of had an idea that they had penalties because I knew B-Dunk had 6 seconds and Ryan was battling him hard, so but I wasn't too sure. But yeah, that was pretty much just a clean race.
To have no penalties here in this here at Russia, that is a big feat, so congratulations to you again. Owen does have a couple of questions for you, though.
So, Drolix, tell us about that move on Chandler.
Well, I kind of set up a couple corners earlier. I put it in a hot lap and rich fuel just to get the biggest exit I could. I don't remember, I kind of lost the back end a bunch of times this race, but I was in the slipstream and he was kind of running lower aero, so I wasn't really that far alongside him. So I went back on the racing line, and I told myself I might go for a switchback, and he locked up and went deep, so I just went for it. And then I made sure not to cut in front of him in the next left-hander, and then I don't really know what happened after that. He just kind of disappeared.
There was just a hair of contact that got him a little sideways on the exit of the left-hander, but all in all, my God, man, that was a brilliant move.
Yeah, I guess.
And that ended up being
a win.
That was the win of the race.
Yeah.
So
Pretty happy
All right,
with
well,
myself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to be. But yeah, congratulations to you. How do you think that you will do next week at Japan?
I don't know. I mean, Japan's actually kind of one of the tracks I've been good at in this game. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm bad, but I mean, it's one of my better tracks that I've noticed on this game. So, I mean, hopefully I can do something good.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, best of luck to you next week, and congratulations on your win today here at the Russian Grand Prix.
Thank you.
All right, Chandler Seda, do you have a copy?
Yep.
So, Chandler, you came home in second today. Pretty clean race from you all day long, consistent. I didn't think that you were going to be passed at the end there, but here came Dralix out of nowhere on those soft compound tires to end up winning the race. But how was your race? How did it go?
Just what you'd expect if you're not leading the pack in track where it's just DRS trains. I mean, first stint I think we were going much too slow for what we needed to be. I think that's how the medium soft seemed really strong. I think it was strong, but not as strong as it seemed. The first stint we were going like half a second a lap slower than we should have been. I don't know what we were doing. So I pitted early just to try and get out of that train, and it sort of worked. I think I could have went one lap later. I think I went one lap too early. But did that, jumped to Ryan, I think, but after defending from him for a good bit, I finally had to let him by. There was no more holding him up, and then just at that point, the soft runners have just caught us too quickly, and then once Dralix got by, that was curtains for my race. So, but no penalties, so that keeps me P2.
Yeah, definitely a good race. Oh, and do you have any questions for Chandler?
Not really. His race was fairly straightforward, just being in the DRS trains, and saw you have a bit of a moment while Dralix was making that pass, but aside from that, nothing too untoward that I saw anyway. Maybe he can clue us into something else.
I wanted to ask you, Chandler, how did you keep your ERS so high throughout that whole race?
Well, you see, when you're in the DRS and not a single lap you're on your own, you don't use DRS. That is the lovely thing of DRS trains in this game, and that's why this game is utter dog shit. But 5,000 plus hours.
Some colorful language here in the post-race interviews, but how do you feel your chances next week at Japan, Chandler?
Well, I think it's a good track for me, but knowing that I say that, it will not go my way. That's how it goes when it's a track that I'm good at, doesn't go my way. It's the tracks that I'm not real good at that I somehow get a result. So I'm assuming I would get like a P5, P6, somewhere around there next week.
All right, well, best of luck to you next week, and congratulations on your second place finish tonight here at the Russian Grand Prix. New Zealand Ryan, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
All right, well, your race was, you led pretty much the whole race. You finally got, well, you were in second pretty much the whole race there. You finally got around B-Dunk and looked to drive away, but B-Dunk would not go away at the end there. And you guys made a little bit of contact, but you came home in third. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, about 2 laps in, I realised I probably should have done the medium soft strat because just battles everywhere, and as Chandler said, we were going too slow, and I was worried about the Mercedes at the end, and that's what happened. So. Yeah.
Yeah, they blitzed the field. I mean, they came out of nowhere, like we've said. But yeah, how did you feel did you know that so many people had those penalties throughout the race?
Considering my teammate decided to lag out before the formation lap, I had an engineer. But
There you go.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of lost my head a little bit trying to pull the gap when I got in front and threw the race away.
Yeah, well, actually, there was 2 of you in qualifying, so that must have been quite exciting for you. But how do you think you'll go next week at Japan?
Don't know, to be honest. If it's wet, that'll be
Alright.
good. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, best of luck to you next week, and congratulations on your 3rd place today.
Thank you.
So, Owen, any final thoughts here of this Russian Grand Prix?
Just one for draws. We saw there on the penultimate lap and the final lap, you got a little bit sideways in a few spots and almost threw the whole thing away there. At any point did you kind of stop and think, yeah, maybe I should just sit here and see what happens?
Yeah, that was about midway through the second last lap, I think. I kind of just told myself, okay, chill. I'm a risk that Ryan has at least 1 penalty. But yeah.
All right, well, I think that's everything.
Yeah. So, Owen, final takeaways?
This place is nuts. That's the final takeaway. Is this place is absolutely maddening. As is this entire grid of drivers. I'm a firm believer that we do have probably some of the best drivers on Xbox and period in the world in this league, and tonight shows that. There were 5 cars that, barring, if you take the penalty situation away, there were 5 cars that had a chance at winning this race on the last lap.
Yeah, I mean, it was real exciting, and yes, we do. The Breakout Racing League does have the best drivers in the world. But that seems to wrap it up here, folks. Tonight, Russian Grand Prix, very exciting, lots of overtaking. Congratulations to the top 3 again. My name is Jonathan Webster. I'm alongside Owen tonight. Daniel Stevens will be back next week for the Japanese Grand Prix, and we will be back and better than ever next week. I hope his date went well tonight. But again,
Oh, what a king! What a king!
I hope that all of you have a safe and definitely a good week. And again, this was the Breakout Racing League Split 1 here at the Russian Grand Prix. We will be back next week. Take care, and we'll see you later.